Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to work on a little project, a little shop tool, if you will. Some things I had laying around we're going to turn into a useful tool. This is nothing new, nothing you probably hadn't already seen on YouTube or isn't 457 videos of it out there. This is just my way to do things. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a weld positioner out of a few parts that I had laying around that I haven't bought anything to do this project. I just happened to have it. So first thing, we have a 6-inch disc, 1/2 inch thick, a spare lathe chuck, also a 6-inch, and a rotary table. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this piece of 1/2 inch thick plate and we're going to put a hole through it, a threaded hole, and we're going to put 3 bolt holes in it which attach to the back of the chuck. A bolt is going to go through the weld positioner, or through the rotary table I should say, and thread into this plate, which in turn holds the chuck down. Concentricity really isn't a huge concern, but it needs to be kind of close. So we're going to do that on the lathe right now. We're going to make the pieces that we need to do and move on with it. Okay, so we've made it over here in the other garage where the machinery's at. We're going to turn this little lug down that fits in the back of the rotary table so the bolt can go through and it kind of holds it a little bit straight at least. So we're going to turn that now, and then we're going to flip the jaws around on the lathe. We're going to drill and tap the center hole in the chuck adapter that's going to bolt it to the rotary table. So here we go. Alright, there's part of it. Now we're going to drill the hole through it and part it off. Alright, that part is done. Anyways, that's going to go in the back of the chuck, so let's go over there and take a look at it. Okay, there it is. And I said the back of the chuck earlier, I meant the back of the rotary table. So that's going to go there, and that's going to hold the bolt from being able to run eccentrically. So, yeah, there's that. Now, we're going to modify this plate so that it fits the back of this chuck, and that bolt is going to go all the way through there and into this plate, which will be bolted to the chuck. So now let's go ahead and put that on the lathe and get that taken care of. Get the jaws flipped around on the lathe real quick. Alright, looks like we got that part taken care of. Now all that's left is the 3 little bolt holes to hold the plate to the chuck. Okay, I had to run to the hardware store and get the right kind of countersunk bolts for this. I got it all laid out. I'm going to go ahead and drill the holes in it by hand, and then we'll fasten the plate to the chuck, and then all of that mess gets fastened to the rotary table. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that real quick. Alright, last but not least, put the countersink in it so these screws will sit flat against the plate, and so the plate will sit flat against the rotary table. I don't really have the right countersink. This is a 60 degree, and I believe the standard for the countersunk screws is 82 degrees, so it'll be close enough for what we're doing here. It won't matter. I actually found this countersink. It looks like it works a little better. Okay, got all the screws in, tightened down, got the chuck fastened with the bolt and the little bushing that we made earlier on the lathe. Now all we gotta do is hook something up to drive this thing, and then we're ready to make some test welds. Okay, now that the weld positioner is done, or you can call it a weld positioner or a bunch of cobbled up mess of leftover parts. Weld positioner sounds better. Anyways, we're using a regular old Milwaukee drill to power it. I got a hose clamp around the trigger. I adjusted it where I think it looks good. I set the welder with a little more heat than I know it needs, so I can adjust if the drill is turning too fast. Now I've already done one, so the hose clamp is kind of set where I like it. So I'm going to just slide the hose clamp over the trigger. Alright, let's see what we got here. Okay, there's the first one. Let's take it out and hold it up by the camera and see what it looks like. Alright, that actually turned out pretty good. Now we'll flip it around, see if we can perfect it, make it look even better. I sped it up a little bit, and you can really tell, but I also turned the amperage up quite a bit. All in all, it looks pretty good. I think it has some room for improvement, but it's still going to be a strong part. There ain't nothing wrong with that. So I think that's ready to go on the car. And we're going to move on to the next step. Alright guys, I think we're going to call that quits for this video. As you see, we threw together some parts and called it a Weld positioner. We tested it out on the control arms for the race car. So, having said all that, as usual, thanks everybody for stopping by. Give it a thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, and comment. And also be sure to follow along because we're approaching the 10,000 subscriber mark. And when we get to that point, there is going to be some kind of giveaway. So I'm looking for ideas. Be sure and throw something in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys got to say. See you in the next one, guys. Thanks.